What is going on, my super sandwiches? Rhymestyle here, and today is the day, the metal case. If you guys missed it, if you're new to the channel, if you just happen to hop in, I am doing a giveaway with Laughing Pikachu and Leonhard. If you subscribe to both channels, which I will link in the description below, you'll increase your chances to win a Guardians Rising box, which I would show off. I had a box yet, but they're still on the way of being shipped. And in about 3 weeks, we each gonna choose one lucky person from who's been basically active with the videos and send it to you. So wish you guys much luck. And again, subscribe to Leonhard and Laughing Pikachu in the comment section below. Now, I mentioned that once I get to 10K, I'm either gonna open this mystery case or this flash firebox. And whatever I don't open now, I will open the 15K. So this will be open to 15K very, very soon, hopefully, potentially, we'll see. But right now, the mystery case. Now before I start, I'll mention that this mystery case is going to be a reoccurring thing on my channel. Every time we hit a certain milestone, which I don't know what the next milestone is, every time I hit a certain milestone, I'll open this and there'll be something inside. It's going to vary from being something useful, actually useful, or it's going to be something trolly, which becomes something that could be fun. But today, I promise it's no troll. I'm going to go ahead and open this. Y'all ready for this? Today, you're going to see my graded card collection. Now before I start, let me actually show you what didn't make it and the reason why. Well, for starters, the reason why is because, well, when I bought this case, I was actually going to store all my special cards, my favorites, and the case was actually too small. So that's why I'm going to keep this as a recurring thing on my channel, where every time we hit a certain milestone, I'll have something else inside it, and it'll be like a mystery thing that's going to be a little bit different, and you never know what to expect every single time. But first things first, the cards that didn't make it and why. So we got a Charizard, that's a 9, which as you guys know, I was on a journey to get a 2016 Evolutions Charizard. This, I'm actually going to give away in this video. So if you comment on this video, in about a couple of days or a week or so, I'm gonna do the random comment picker and pick one person to get this Charizard right here. So you can get your very first graded card, unless you actually have graded cards, in which case this will just be part of your collection. But hopefully this is going to spark someone's love for graded cards and be like the first card you get in your collection. So all you have to do is comment and like the video, and then I'll pick some person at random to get this card. Next we have this, which I might also give away, but probably at a different time, which is a 9. A Mega Charizard, which is 9. This Ultra Ball, which this would be in my suitcase, it just came back as a 9, unfortunately. And it should have been a 10. It's in really good condition, but whatever reason, it came back as a 9. This freaking Magneton, I actually love this card. It just kills my OCD that it came back as a 9 and not a perfect 10. I love the art. I love the mysterious Team Rocket silhouette in the background too. It's just so fitting. Like, the Rocket cards were so damn cool. And you'll see actually some more once we get into this opening, the main opening. Then we also have these two Mewtwo's. We have one from Next Destinies, and then we have this Majestic Dawn one. One of my goals as a collector is to get every single Mewtwo graded. Every single one. It doesn't matter if they're 10s or 9s or what the deal is. I want to get every single one of them. And I have most of them, but now I've gotten to the point where I care about 10s. And there's specifically one card that I really want as a 10, and the rest I kind of don't care about. It could be 9s or whatever, but for the most part, there's one that I want really badly as a 10, and I'll get to that once we get into the main part of the video. But the main part, here we go. This is basically my most prized collection of Pokemon cards. Let's do it one by one. Hopefully this video won't be too long. So the first one is we have this Plasma Storm Lugia. Lugia, Gengar, and Mewtwo are my favorites, and I want to get basically every single one of those cards as a graded collection. This I didn't really care that much about, so I grabbed it as a 9. But 10 is always the goal. And to those who don't know, 10 means absolutely flawless, no issues with the cards at all. The next one we have is this Charizard, actually, which I graded myself. If you guys remember, I did a Goodwill lot where I bought 7 cards for like $100, and they all had Charizards. There were 3 original Charizards. One was being a Blaine Charizard, and then 2 originals, and I got them all graded, and this came back as a 7. The other one came back as a higher score, and then one came back as a perfect score, which is somewhere in this mystery lot. So this is cool. I might give this away one day, but for the most part right now, because it's such a collector's item, even though it's a 7, it still kind of has a whole dear place in my heart for the current moment. Here's another Mewtwo. It's not a first edition or anything. It's just a Rocket 9. Again, I love the Rocket cards because they're so like malicious and evil looking. Like, look at this Mewtwo. He's about to do some evil deeds. Put this to the side. The next one is Lugia! This is the Lugia I've been trying to get in Ancient Origins for the longest, and I really want to pull him in the reprinted boxes because the conditions have been so good. And hopefully in the next box that I have coming, he'll be finally in there. But I bought this as a 9 a couple of months ago just because I saw it on eBay. It was very, very cheap. It was like 20 bucks. I was like, why not? I mean, I want them. Might as well get them and then have them in my collection. But one day, I'm hoping to get a 10. And if I get a 10, I'll probably do a giveaway in this one later at some point in the channel. The next one is, drum rolls, Lugia again. This is one of my favorite cards of all time. It's not a 10, it's killing my OCD right now. I really want it as a first edition or a 10, but one day, it's very expensive. Also note how awful this attack is. Discard 1 fire energy, water energy, and a lightning energy to do this attack. Do you understand how annoying it is to do this attack? Because you can only attach 1 energy per turn, unless there's like a card that you can use to basically continuously attach energy to it. I feel like this is a really bad move back in the day. But then again, I don't know if they had something that worked with it, but still, I love this card. Like, look at the art. Look at the art. I still never forget when this first came out. I was actually still collecting cards as a kid when this first came out, and I was like, bruh, I want it. Never had it when I was a kid, but I have it now, which makes me very, very happy. But just to the side, again, I want to get that as a 10. The next one is Charizard, and this is actually the other one I got from Goodwill, which I graded myself. Came back as a 9, unfortunately. I still feel like I should have came back as a 10. Unfortunately, there were a few, like, there's like a couple scratches. I don't know if you can see it or not. There might be like 1 or 2 scratches in the actual, there, see right there, that little scratch? That's what caused it to not have a 10. It should have been a 10, and if you have this as a 10, it's like an $800 card. But it's still cool because as a 9, it's like 200 bucks still, so it's still pretty valuable. If you have this without the shadow and in first edition, it's like a $16,000 card if you have it as a PSA 10, so it's the holy grail of cards. But if you don't have those, this is probably the next best thing to have if you don't have a 10. But this is probably one of my favorite cards that I have in this collection. The next one is Mewtwo. I got this graded myself. Again, I want to get every single Mewtwo in existence. And I bought a box that had perfect condition cards. There's also a Pidgeot in there somewhere, I believe, that came back in the same box. And I got a grade, it came back as a 10. And of course, you know, when you pull the card and get it graded yourself, you have more connection to it than if you just buy it. And I love the fact that I pulled this and got it graded and it came back as a perfect 10. Speaking of Pidgeot, there it is. Again, I love the art on this. Evolutions did such an amazing job delivering quality, you know, art. And this is by far one of my favorite cards. It's basically like Pidgeot in Super Saiyan form. It looks like Gohan. And I think Leonhard was the one who initially said that in one of his earlier videos. It was like, it looks like Gohan. And ever since then, I can't unsee it. But basically, that Pidgeot is like the Gohan of all Pokemon cards. The next one is Articuno. Fun fact. When I was a kid, I was like 9 years old, I pulled this card. I only bought fossil packs so many times as a kid because I didn't have money, so it's like, anytime my mom was like, yeah, you know, you got a good grade on the test or whatever, here's, you know, $5, go buy a pack. I pulled this card, and I remember how excited I was because Articuno has always been my favorite of the original 3 legendaries. And then I traded this for a starter deck Mewtwo. The same Mewtwo that's in the Evolution series right now as a non-holo. Originally, it was available inside like a starter deck that everybody had. And I remember, I loved Mewtwo so much as a kid, I was like, I want it. I don't care if this is a ripoff, I want it. And I got rid of it. And it haunted me forever. So when I got older, the first thing I did when I got back into Pokemon cards is I bought this. I got it as a first edition too because it was like a really good deal. It's a 9. I want a 10, but a 9 is good enough. And now I can finally rest easy knowing that I have this back in my possession and didn't do a stupid trick like I did as a kid. Ta-da! Another Lugia! Now, I don't think this Lugia in particular is that rare. To be honest, I don't know much about it. I just, when I was on my hunt for Lugia cards on eBay one time, I saw it was like $15, like super cheap. That's why I don't think it's that valuable. Instantly bought it, figured why not. Might as well add it to my Lugia collection, but I really love it. Again, Lugia is one of my favorite Pokemon next to Gengar, Mewtwo, and Gengar, Mewtwo, Scyther, Scizor. Yeah, just those 3, right? Yeah, just those mostly. And of course Charizard too, but I need to have every single Lugia possible, if I didn't already make that clear enough. The next one is Gengar. Speaking of which, my girlfriend pulled this out of a mystery box. It's a secret rare, which makes it that much more valuable in my heart. On top of that, my girlfriend gave this to me, so this is even more special. It's got some sentimental value in a way. And I got it graded myself. Came back as a 9, unfortunately, because there was this little ding up here in the top left corner, if you can see it. See that right there? But for the most part, it's still in great condition. It's a fantastic card, and I love Mega Gengar. He's so badass. So it's cool to have this. It's not 10, but I'll take it. The next one is Mega Charizard. Gotta have my Charizards. Spoiler alert, there's a lot of Charizards in this freaking case. This I pulled from Generations back when I was hunting for the Articuno and Zapdos full arts from the Generations set. And I'm actually hoping that this box here, right here, this box has the ever so elusive Mega Charizard, the secret rare version of it. And if it is in here, it's definitely getting graded. But for now, this is one of my favorite cards that I have in this entire set, just because there's not that many Mega X Charizards out there for some reason. There's only like, I think 4 or 5 card designs for it, which is surprising because you would think that card is popular and you would have full arts left and right, but they didn't do that for whatever reason. Speaking of Charizard, when I got my set of Evolutions boxes a couple of weeks ago, they all came back in such great condition. So when I pulled this, it's not necessarily a really valuable card, but the condition was so great, I figured why not just send it in with the same batch, and if it comes back a 10, that's great. And it did, look at that, got another 10. So you want 10s. To those who are new to a gem or to PSA graded cards, you want 10s. 10s means absolutely perfect, and it's gonna preserve that condition forever. Whereas if you just have these cards sitting out here in sleeves like this, there's risks of them, you know, getting destroyed or getting out of quality going down. By the way, these are all gonna go get graded. Look at that shadowless Chansey, another shadow. This is the Mewtwo I was talking about as a kid, just this is without the shadow. These are all gonna get sent off to potentially get it, and hopefully we can get some gems. By the way, look at these Charizards. This is some original Charizards. They're not 10s, so they're not gonna come back great, but this is a little small preview. This is a Legendary Collection Charizard, look at that. Small preview of what's to come, shadowless. So hopefully we'll get some good grades with these in the next couple of weeks, depending on how long PSA takes. But yeah, I love my original cards, especially if they're Charizards. The next one is Misty's Determination. I'm not a big fan of the full art trainer cards. I mean, I put them all usually in the frame behind me, but this one I really liked. I don't know if it's because I grew up under Ash, Misty, and Brock. I have Brock's Grit too, which I'm sending off right now, which is in the same condition, so it should be a 10. But this card I really like the design for, and I had to put it into my batch of cards just because it's so cool and nostalgic. Then we have this, a reverse Charizard. Not a 10. This is the only reverse Charizard I pulled in the many boxes I opened for Evolutions, and unfortunately it was not good enough to be a 10. It should be, but I feel like it's because this little ding in the top left corner is what stopped it. It's always the corner. It's always the corner, because I put these in sleeves immediately so they get, you know, preserved as good as possible, but unfortunately this one did not come back as a 10. Oh boy, this card right here. This card as a kid caused a lot of stress. So this was originally available before the movie came out, and I remember it was a very rare card. A couple people had it that I knew because I guess they just ordered it and stuff. But then when the movie came out, the movie 2000, this was given out for like the first week to those who saw it. And I remember when I got this card, I was like, yes, I'm that guy. But then a lot of people thought it was fake because it was such a rare card at the time, and like, you know, the internet wasn't as wide back then. Nobody really went online to look up cards and stuff. So whenever I brought it to school, people always accuse me that it's a fake card. This is not the original one, by the way. I just bought this again because it was on sale when I got back into Pokemon a couple months ago. But I remember I used to get teased for having this card because people thought it was actually fake, but it was real. Which is when I really started liking that Pokemon. So I definitely enjoyed that card, and Mew was like one of my favorites as a kid next to Mewtwo. Ta-da! Raichu! Now the reason why I got this graded is because when I bought some cards from Pokemon Revolution, he sent me a Fire Red and Leaf Green pack as a bonus, and this is in it. And if any old card you get, especially, you know, the closer it is to the early 2000s, to the 90s era, you want to get graded. Now unfortunately it came back as a 9 for some reason. I think it's because of this little whitening part up here. Like 10 means absolutely flawless. So it sucks that this did not come back as a 10. I was hoping it would. I like Raichu. He's not one of my favorites, but I was hoping this would come back as a 10. But though regardless, even though it is a hollow rare card, a vintage card, I went ahead and got it graded, and it's gonna go into my collection. This right here, oh my gosh, I love this Gengar's character, and that's what made me like want this. And the good part was, this is usually a fairly expensive card, but I don't know if the person that was just selling it just didn't really know about it. But I got it for like 40 bucks, which is insane, because this is worth a lot more than 40 bucks. And the art is just incredible, so I had to have it, so I instantly bought it, and on top of that, it's first edition. Now if only I can get a 10. For now, this is good enough. I'm almost done. The next one is, so this is the pre-release Charizard. It's funny, so the story with this is I missed the Evolution pre-release, but the card shop that I used to go to that was, you know, in my hometown here, where I live in SoCal, randomly got boxes of pre-Evolution sets for the pre-release Evolution sets. And I went and I bought 4, I opened them all, they all had Machamp, Gyarados, and Mewtwo, no Charizard. Went back the next day, I bought 4 more because they were only selling for like 20 bucks, and one of them had this in it. Unfortunately, it just wasn't that centered. As you can see, the centering is a lot thicker on this side than it is on that side, so it came back as a 9. But still, this is a very, very low population card. Like, there's not that many in the world, and even having it as a 9, is a good thing. So I'm happy I have that. On top of that, it's the classic Charizard reprint, so you can't go wrong with that. So I'm happy I have that as a 9. Speaking of classic cards, Zapdos. This I actually got from Goodwill as well. It's from the same lot where I got the Charizards. It came back with a Zapdos that I went and got, graded myself. It came back as a 9, and it still amazes me that I bought these cards from Goodwill with no sleeves, no protection, nothing, and came back as a 9. Like, they somehow managed to keep them in really good condition, because if you buy stuff from Goodwill, a lot of times they can get damaged in the shipment, so it's like a risky thing. And with that lot, I definitely won. Next card we have is Dragonite, and this came back from the same set that I bought from Pokemon Revolutions, and I pulled the holy grail of fossil packs. Dragonite as a first edition. Now unfortunately it came back as a 9 for some reason. I still don't know why, because it's really good condition, great centering and everything, no scratches, but it came back as a 9. But still, it's a good card to have, and it's also very nostalgic from back in the day when I was younger playing the game, and fossil had been like the new thing at the time. Next one is Dark Blastoise. Also got this from a batch of Team Rocket packs I bought from Pokemon Revolutions, and I'm never gonna forget this. I always wanted this as a kid, that and the Charizard, and I could never pull it. And when I bought those packs and pulled this, like, I'm still like in shock. I will never forget the feeling of getting this. So of course I had to get it graded. Unfortunately it came back as a 9 again. I don't know why. It's in really good condition. I see nothing wrong with it. But I'm still happy to have it. On top of that, it's a first edition, and it's just, look at the art. Just look at the art. Incredible. And it got cut off because apparently this camera only likes to have 16 minutes of footage. The next one is Dark Blastoise, which I showed you I had a 9 earlier, but I got a 10 of this. So of course the 10 presides over the 9. And again, it's one of my favorite cards from the Evolution set, and it's just, the art is incredible, which I assume this is Charizard. It's a Charizard, but not the Charizard I was talking about. Now, to those who have been watching, I've been hunting a Evolution Gem 10 Charizard that I pulled for the longest, and I finally got one that came back as a 10. I'm still shocked. There's only 50 of these in the world at the time of me recording this video. Only 50. And to give you an example of how many people have sent these in, I think there's like over 800 9s, and only 50 are 10s. So there's probably like a good maybe 2,000 in circulation are like 7s, 8s, 9s and stuff, but it's only 50 10s, and I have 1 out of 50. So that's really, really awesome to have. I'm so happy that PSA decided, you know what, this one is good enough to be a 10, that they sent that back to me. This one is Alakazam. Came back as a 10. This is my first 10 I got back from PSA. Really awesome card. I remember when I first saw this, I bought a Fates Collide box, and I was like, I need this. I need it. And that same box that I bought just happened to have this, and when I pulled this, it was just a really exciting moment. So, love Alakazam. This card right here. I think this is, if this is what I think it is, oh, it's not. This is actually a 1998 Pokemon Charizard promo card that featured the original 3 starters, Charizard, Venusaur, and Blastoise, and it had like the original art that was featured on like the games, on Pokemon Red, Blue, and Green, which came out in Japan only, I think. But this is definitely the same art from from Red and Blue, which is awesome. So when I saw this, I bought it. It was only 60 bucks, which I feel like it should be a lot more, but it's just the classic art is what got me. Like, look at that. Look at that. Awesomeness. Awesomeness. The next one we got in here is another Gengar again. I want to get all the Gengars possible. This one, of course, I have to give it a 10, and it's from Expeditions. Now, I'm surprised that this wasn't that expensive. It's holographic, as you can see. The art is also really devious, which is what I really like about it. Gengar is such a good Pokemon. He's so dope. I feel like it's kind of slept on because there's so many more ghosts available nowadays, but back in the day, it was all about Gengar. I mean, granted, you only had 3 options between Ghastly, Haunter, and Gengar, but Gengar was that Pokemon, and he's always going to have a special place in my heart. So when I saw this, for the small price that it was, I was like, yeah, I need that. All right, this right here should be the other card from Goodwill. It is. Look at that. Came back as a perfect 10. Now, in Japanese, it's not as valuable as the English one, but still, I got this from Goodwill. And it came back as a perfect 10, which kind of blows my mind. So it's cool to have that. I never had it as a kid. Everybody else had it but me. I never had a Charizard as a kid. Actually, I take that back. I had a Charizard as a kid, but it was really, really badly bent. It was one of these, not this one from Evolutions, but the same design, like the original base set one. It had a huge bend going across the entire card. And I remember I traded the Game Boy for it. I had just got the Game Boy Color, so I had my old Game Boy without the actual, you know, color or like the original Game Boy, like the fat one. It was like this thick. And I remember this, there was this kid that I didn't really like that kid, but he was kind of a douche. But he was like, yeah, what can you give me for it? It's got a bend. And I was like, well, I don't want this Game Boy, so I'll trade you. And I convinced him to trade me. So I had that Charizard. Unfortunately, I had to do a trade back later because I guess he tried to sell the Game Boy and couldn't, got mad, and then I don't know, I just didn't want to deal with the drama. So I had a Charizard for like a week. Now, I don't know much about this this Mewtwo, but I love the art on it. It's a 10. It was released in Japan only. Apparently, it was a promo for a Game Boy game, I assume. And like I said, I want to get every single Mewtwo possible, so I had to get this one. On top of that, the price is pretty good, and I know it's only going to go up in value over time, so why not? We're getting out to our final 3. The next one is this Poncho Shiny Rayquaza Pikachu. I have the other one, but I gave it to my girlfriend. Like, I bought this as like a set. It was also very, very cheap because it just came out. See, I figured when these special promo cards come out, it's better to just buy them as graded cards than opposed to just buying them from Japan, paying for shipping options, yada, 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 if you're just gonna get graded. So I figured I'd skip the entire process and I bought both of these. I gave her the original Rayquaza Pikachu and I kept this one, so you both have one of these now. But I figured it's just something cool to want to grab at the time, and I figured why not? And on top of that, it's a pretty good price. Now to my favorites. These last 3 are by far my favorites. This right here is the holy grail of my current collection, Shining Mewtwo. This is a really expensive card. It's like 300 bucks, I think. If you have like the first edition version, it's like 600 bucks. The Mewtwo that I really want is the Gold Star Mewtwo from Holon Phantoms. And I've tried, I keep losing. It's like a $600 card. It's insane. And it's like the one card that I'm really missing to complete my Mewtwo collection. So one day I'll have it, but for now, this is my favorite one. Only because of how they did the holo. Because like the holo is the actual Mewtwo. Like based on how you hold it, see how he's like, he goes from light to dark. It's so like Shining Mewtwo, he's actually shining, and I love that. I have this as an 8.5 downstairs as well. But I saw this pop out as a 10 one day, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna treat myself. I'm gonna get it, so I got it. So yeah, it's cool to have that. The next one that I have down here, I forgot what this is. Oh, the Charizard. It's another 9 Charizard from the original base set. So I have 2 of these actually. One that I sent myself, and this one I actually bought. I bought it for like 100 bucks a couple of months ago. Again, it's like a $200 card now, so technically I made my money back, but this is partially the holy grail of having a Pokemon card collection. So you want to have one of these. Look how this is shining. I love this. This is so dope. You definitely want one of these Charizards. If you don't have one and you're a collector, seek it out. Get it as soon as possible because these are only going up in price. And if you have a shadowless one or first edition, you have the holy grail. But this is by far one of my favorites. And finally, the last card in my suitcase is the Mega Charizard. Again, this is another card that I wanted to actually get graded and pull as a 10. It took me like 2 attempts, and the third one finally ended up being a perfect 10, which I'm happy about, which I'm going to keep forever. I think this is like, I want to say like a $150 card now as a 10, but the price is kind of fluctuating just because there's so many in circulation. This is one of those things that it's going to get more valuable over time, obviously, as opposed to right now. I think they were, for like a week, they were like $200, but then a lot more got, you know, sent and came back as 10s, and then it kind of started going up and down. So right now it's like a $150 to $200 card, I think, maybe 100-ish, somewhere in that neighborhood. I know the Blastoise version is like 100, but this is one of those cards that I wanted. This and that are ones that I really wanted from more recent cards as 10, and I finally have them. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that is the contents of the mystery suitcase for this month. The next goal, I think we'll do like 25,000 probably. When we get to 25,000 subs, I'll do another opening. Unless you guys don't like the idea of the mystery boxes, just let me know your thoughts on it. And again, if you comment on this video, I will give away, where are you? I will give away, where is it? Where's my Charizard? What did I do with it? Oh, it's over here. If you comment on this video, I'm gonna pick one lucky winner in a couple days to send you this Pokemon 2016 Evolutions Charizard to have. Hopefully it'll kick off your PSA graded collection, or it'll just join your current one. All you gotta do is comment. It doesn't matter what it is. Just comment, like the video, and then I'll pick somebody out at random, and I'll message you through YouTube. So make sure you pay attention, because if I message you and you don't respond and like time passes, I'll pick someone else. But overall though, let me know your thoughts on the idea of doing more of these suitcase openings. Every time I open it, it's gonna have something mysterious inside. It could be boxes, it could be packs, it could be more collection updates, yada, 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 or it could have nothing in it, which I'm probably not gonna do that because that could probably make people mad. But the point is you never know what to expect with these box opening videos. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comment section below. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this today. My name is Rhymestyle. I'm gonna go ahead and put all these cards back into their storage now in their cases. I hope you guys enjoyed this today. I'll see you guys in the comment section below. Peace.